All right, everyone, here we go from Driscoll Arena in Fall River, Massachusetts. We welcome you to our coverage of Somerset Berkley hockey on YouTube and Somerset Access TV. And it's the opening night of South Coast Conference action as the 2-1 Somerset Berkley Raiders get set to take on the 2-3 Bourne Canalmen. Thank you for joining us alongside JJ Sylvia. I'm Keegan Hamblett. JJ, before the merger between Somerset Berkley and DRS, I think it's completely fair to say that Bourne was their next toughest conference opponent. Bourne kept most of their guys. They've only lost 5. Somerset Berkley, DRS combined, lost 14. What should we be expecting tonight?
What we should expect tonight, Keegan, is for this team to start to mesh together. It's early in the season. Kevin Snyder and his staff understand that. But when you have as much talent, as much speed, as much cohesiveness as you already have, you can only look up, and they need to show tonight that they're more of a unit.
This game is underway. Somerset Berkley is in white. Bourne is in purple off the face-off. The Canalmen will take it in the back. They'll try to go to the right side to the captain, Griffin Kelly. Blankish holds it in. And it stays in the zone for the moment, and Pomborg will stick it aside. And as you know, JJ, Jackson Pomborg, the goalie for Bourne, only in his sophomore year, he's potentially the new best goalie in the SEC with the departure of Brandon Silva and Adam Bastos.
And that's a great sign if you're Bourne, Keegan, having a young goaltender like that who's already showing prowess at the high school level. They might be set at that position in between the pipes for the next few years, which that type of security is hard to come by, especially in ice hockey in the state of Massachusetts.
A little bit of history between the two sides. For the Somerset Berkley side, they have a 10-game winning streak all-time against Bourne as that shot is taken high off the glass. The DRS players, they are winless in their final 3 head-to-head games. 2 losses last year and then a tie the year before. That is Fougier going to the side to Cole Thomas. Gabe Gonzalez off of his skate, and Bastos will send it in deep. Here's the senior defender, Caleb Keane, off the side to Crowell. Walked out by the Canalmen. They've got a 2-on-1 break the other way. That one hit the top of the crossbar. Might have gone a piece of Rodriguez's glove.
Yeah, it looked like it did. Rodriguez, very good positioning there. He didn't come too far out of his crease. Was able to cut off the angle.
Mason Sullivan controls it behind the net, looking in front for an option. It's Aaron Preston out to the line. Sylvia with a shot. It's blocked down. Preston will follow it up, try to get it to Gonzalez. Evan Sylvia, the big step up, sticked away by Pomborg. Here's Preston, the alternate captain, at the edge of the face-off circle. Try to make a move. The puck's going to come out of the zone. Walked in the other way by Thomas, and he puts it high off the vent up here. And we have a whistle and a stoppage of play.
Heads up on that one, Keegan. We had to make sure we didn't take one off the dome there, but I do want to talk about one thing in particular that I've noticed, and it's the fact that Kevin Snyder and his staff are much more utilizing their third line this year than I've seen in years past, and that is a huge deal and just goes to show the amount of talent they have.
Here comes Carter Sylvia into the zone for the Raiders, and Lush will control it on the end boards. Mateo Senna right back trying to clear it. He can't. Senna with the edge on the puck. He'll hit the netting. It's whistled down. 1 minute and 51 seconds into the game. Let's meet the head coaches on both sides. Kevin Snyder for Somerset Berkley in his 22nd season. All-time wins leader for the Raider program, and he's the former golf coach for Somerset Berkley. Frank Carpenito for the Canalmen in his 7th season. Replaced the longtime coach Tom Welch back in 2018. He's a Bourne High grad, class of 91, and he currently works as an assistant superintendent at the Woods Hole Golf Club.
Yeah, the former head coach for Bourne, Tom Welch, when he was there, it was my senior year, his last season, that Bourne team that he had played like a well-oiled machine. And it seems that this new squad, led by the head coach who came in afterwards, is really following that type of mentality.
This is Carter Sylvia getting over the red line. He'll go to Lush to help get it into the zone. Lush going to try to send it in deep. Senna and Sylvia in a battle right along the end board. That puck eventually squirts out to a purple jersey. And it's cleared out, and Mello might have had a touch on the end of his stick, so the icing's going to be waved off. Mason Sullivan, one of 2 Raider captains, along with Adam Bastos, gets it over to the left side. Here's Brady Fitzpatrick stepping in. Fitzpatrick, a shot is saved by Pomborg.
And I've really been impressed with the performances that I've seen out of Brady Fitzpatrick so far this season. I didn't get to see him play too much before the merger, but he has been absolutely sensational, getting back on defense, blocking shots, and he's an incredible passer, too.
16 points in 11 games played last year for the senior Brady Fitzpatrick. Raiders win the faceoff. Sullivan going to send it in deep. Closest Raider to it was Cam McKenna. It looks like Caleb Keene, who ended up getting all down behind the play. Here is Josiah D'Souza turned over, and a purple jersey picks it up, and Griffin Kelly. Griffin Kelly starting in the back. Going to switch to his right side. McKenna applying the pressure. Griffin Kelly enters the zone. Mason Sullivan will take over. Kelly gets back onto the puck. Turned over quickly to Brady Fitzpatrick.
Look at that speed.
Going to enter the zone. Ooh, he's hit hard into the boards by Luca Fenton, the senior defender. And we had a whistle on the side, and Fitzpatrick very slow getting back up to his feet.
It's actually because he lost the blade of one of his skates, came completely off. The referee stopped play because it would have been hard for Fitzpatrick to get back up at all.
Helping him
they're having to scooch him over like a shopping cart because he can't get up. And that's one of those things that you fear as a hockey player, because you really have no way to get up after that, because your blade digging in is what helps you build the foundation to plant that foot and get up. So if he doesn't have the blade, he's lost out there.
Well, Fitzpatrick just put in a good shift, so it's a much well-deserved rest on the bench for a couple of minutes. Waved off icing here. Sullivan had it go off of the stick of Jake Rao. Barboza going to tap it up to Adam Bastos. We'll see if he can win the race to the puck against Fenton, trying to nudge off Fenton in the back. Aaron Preston for Somerset Berkley. He's knocked down hard by Griffin Kelly. Being squashed in the end boards as that puck is still loose. It might be under Preston, and eventually squirts free over his glove. Sullivan walking forward, over to Preston behind. Here's Keene defending him. Center around the boards. Gonzalez stepping in near the face-off dot. And it pokes free in the end for Luca Fenton. Fenton, a multi-sport athlete at Bourne High School, plays baseball, and he is committed to Wheaton College, so we wish the best for him. Here's Barboza taking the shot. What a save by Pomborg.
Yeah, and Pomborg there seemed a bit indecisive, but held his ground at the last second. I think he was thinking about that push-off towards the back post, but stood his ground there, and a nice stop using the blocker and the right pad.
Don't let the record fool you for Pomborg and the Canalman. Goals against average of 1.8 and a save percentage of .924, including one shutout. That one got tipped high as it went through. Carter Sylvia nearly got back to the puck. That's Blankush, the senior, holding it in. He's hit hard into the end boards by Crowell. Started up the other way. Thomas never got the shot away. That's for Nate Mello. Mello going to restart, holding it by Crowell. Now stepping up over the red line and into the zone. Went off of the stick of Hunter McLean. McLean trying to nudge Mello into the boards. Ended up taking most of it. 5 minutes in, still 0-0 from Driscoll Arena. JJ, what are you liking so far from both sides?
A couple of things I'm really enjoying so far. The physicality is there, which in these conference matchups, you always need to have that to get the edge in a mental aspect. And I'm also liking that both sides right now are really emphasizing in terms of their forwards getting back on defense, which is clogging those passing lanes and making the entries into the offensive zone very unfluid.
That one goes into the Canalman bench, and we had a whistle and a stoppage of play. Let's take a look at the results on the air for both teams so far. Somerset Berkley started their season off with a 6-2 win against Diamond Durfee in round one of Prenda Cup. Fell to Taunton in the final 2-1. Then got a huge road win at Division II, Plymouth North 6-3, as that one hits the netting again. For the Bourne side, they started their season 0-2 with losses to Monomoy and at South Shore. The only conference game besides this one this year, they won against Old Rochester, the Fairhaven Old Rochester Co-op 2-0. Lost at home to South Shore, and then a 5-2 win on Wednesday at Rockland.
Looks like a penalty coming up here. Might be an elbow.
Yep, it's going to be against Bourne. Somerset Berkley is going to go to the power play.
Looks like it was on Luca Fenton. Initially looked like an interference call. I think it is, yeah, interference.
Yes, it will be. Luca Fenton in game number 6 this year is yet to record a point for the Bourne side.
Well, Keegan, first chance of the day to look at this Raider power play that at times has looked phenomenal, but it's really about finishing with a lot of these new setups and these new lines that are put out by Kevin Snyder's squad. They need to be able to finish in terms of their scoring and their passing.
Here's Adam Basta stepping in on the right side, just going to play it off the boards, and Barboza will get to it, and it's not sent out. Sullivan off the side, Evan Barboza trying to get by Senna. Barboza holds it up behind the net, sends it out in front. Mason Sullivan scores! Mason Sullivan, a power play goal, puts the Raiders in front.
And Sullivan, a great job of keeping an eye on where the open areas are on the ice. Josiah D'Souza stepped down just a bit to the mid part of the circle, and that opened up the high slot area for Sullivan, and he just saw it, stepped right into it, and it opened up an easy passing lane, and Sullivan's shot doesn't miss too much often.
Congrats to Mason Sullivan. That is career goal number 30 for the senior defender. His second goal of the year, and that's the lead that Somerset Berkley really wants. They always strive to get that first goal and get the momentum early on.
And momentum, especially in conference games, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's true. You need it. You need it early, and you need it often.
Here comes Bourne trying to answer. That one hit off of the stick of Fitzpatrick as Thomas took the shot. Crowell couldn't win the race to the puck, and Fitzpatrick will send it right past the red line. Dump and try from McLean wouldn't go. And Liam Blankush, who had one of the goals in the win at Plymouth North last week, will send it down for an icing. Blankush, one of many players who was on the DRS side last year, able to transition to the newly formed co-op and make the varsity team.
Yeah, and Blankish has been impressive. I kind of compare him to Torrey Krug in a lot of ways, and he provides kind of a dynamic defenseman to this defensive group that you don't always see for Somerset Berkley pre-co-op.
That one sent down low. Rodriguez got a save. That one pops up in the air. Thomas trying to redirect it on frame. Sullivan gets it away. Over to Aaron Preston, who's trying to get it out. Mason Sullivan with a good step to get to that puck. Evan Barboza didn't see it. That one took a touch. Icing's going to be waved off. Barboza to Preston. Preston on the side. No options right now. McLean hitting him on the boards. Fougier trying to get it out, and it looks like the Canalmen have possession of it with Senna going over the middle. Sullivan tried to make a hit on Crowell, and he didn't send him down. Standing up like a statue.
Crowell's lucky there. Mason Sullivan, when he's coming at you, ready to hit you, it's like a freight train, unstoppable.
Griffin Kelly gets it away off to the side. That is Thomas. In a battle against Gonzalez right down low, and Bastos will get it away to Barboza. Evan Barboza, a good burst of steam to the zone on his feet. Got it away to Preston. Might have put it on frame to Pomborg, and it was sticked away. It's Bastos behind the net in front. Pomborg got a touch. Puck is still loose. Preston was in the mix. Ends up behind the net, and it's eventually tapped out to Gonzalez right at the point.
Yeah, Gabe Gonzalez, one of those returners from the Final Four team for Somerset Berkley last year. Had a bit of a bumpy start to his freshman campaign, but ever since then he has stepped up huge, and he has really become one of those cornerstones on Kevin Snyder's back line.
That one turned over. Carter Sylvia nearly got to it. It's Josiah D'Souza taking it over. D'Souza was the one. Final ever head-to-head game with DRS and Bourne. He scored the overtime winner at Gallo Arena last year. He gets back on the puck with 6.5 to go in the first period. 1-0 Somerset Berkley on a goal from Mason Sullivan. Goes out to the point. Here's Blankush taking the shot. It might have got redirected as it went through. Mello on the follow-up. It goes wide behind the net, and it's going to come out of the zone. Blankush to the right side to Mello. A little bit behind Evan Sylvia. D'Souza trying to take over. And Evan Sylvia will the other way, just going to send it high and in. Good Raider student section making their way here, JJ. There's no set theme for tonight, but everybody's lined up right behind Pomborg's net as that one goes down for an icing.
Yeah, I like the change in location for the fan sections. When I was in high school, they always used to dominate the old wooden bleachers over here. Now they like to go behind the glass, more of a front row view. I don't necessarily mind, if you ask me.
if you notice, when you were here and up until maybe last year, all the team banners were all the way right near that scoreboard. They're now off to the side. And where's the Somerset Berkley banner? It's not there anymore. They probably had to repair it or something.
Yeah, must need a restitching.
That's Fitzpatrick stepping in, trying to get by Landon Hope. It'll be started up on the side by Cole Thomas. Off the end boards, and McLean not going to chase it. Cam McKenna will. Gonzalez right back on the end of it. Now you talk about Pomborg being the future face of Bourne. Gabe Gonzalez, he's the future man for Somerset Berkley at defense.
Oh yes, and Gonzalez has had a lot of experience working with his D partner right now, Mason Sullivan. Sullivan, one of the creme de la creme in this area in terms of hockey players, and who better to mentor you?
Here's Crowell back across the middle, and he couldn't find Landon Hope. Senna gonna send it in deep. Here's Thomas, and they tried to get it over to Crowell, popped in front in the crease, now taken behind by Hope. Red Axon unable to get it out. Cam McKenna couldn't either. Here's Crowell stepping in. That one ends up here and eventually bounces out. Woo, heads up.
Just a bit outside. But a really nice job by Mason Sullivan there, stepping up, putting his body in the way of that shot. Those are the types of things the Raiders are going to have to do to win these tight games as they make another march back into the state tournament. You need to be able to put your body on the line for the team, and Mason Sullivan did it right there. That's why he has the C on his jersey.
Face-off won by the Canalman, and a good snag there from Gavin Rodriguez as Josiah D'Souza took the shot. Now, JJ, I want to ask you this question. Bourne is a D4 team, so say Somerset Berkley wins this game, it won't mean as much in terms of the power ranking side, but it's a conference game either way for both teams. Does Snyder attack it differently than perhaps a non-conference team like Plymouth North, who's a division higher?
Well, yeah, those Plymouth North games, though, and those other teams where they may be a division or two up, those types of games can really show you just how much talent there is. And in terms of those who are making the rankings, those are the important aspects. It's the talent, it's the performance against teams of a higher division.
That one went in front off of Pomborg's skate and in the back of the net. Nate Mello doubles the lead for Somerset Berkley.
Who else? Nate Mello. Even though they moved him back to defense, he's still able to find ways to score. He never ceases to amaze me.
It's not the way you draw it up, but it counts either way. He sent it off the end boards, and Pomborg was retreating in front. He didn't know where the puck was, went off of the skate and right into the back of the net. (2-0) Somerset Berkley in their first conference game of the year. Carter Sylvia couldn't walk forward with it, and it's tapped in by James Kirby, and it'll be settled by Rodriguez. James Kirby earned his first career point, which was an assist in that win at Rockland on Wednesday. One of three players to get their first careers. Ronan Kelly got his first career point, which was also an assist, as that one comes on Rodriguez again. And Charlie Seitz, the sophomore forward, waited over a year, but he finally got his first career goal on Wednesday. Ended up getting two of them at Rockland.
Talk about a way to break onto the stat sheet.
Rodriguez steered that one aside, and Lush going to try to play it up for Carter Sylvia in a race to the puck. Sylvia tied up behind with two Canalmen. It eventually squirts free in Bourne's favor. Taken by the Raiders in their zone with Mason Sullivan. Turned over, that shot blocked away by Rodriguez. Good quick reaction save. Seitz nudged off the puck. Lush gets it by Thomas. And Mason Sullivan in full control of it now. Sylvia at the point, blocked away by Pomborg. Heavy collision on the boards with Lush going down. That was Finton who made the hit. Evan Sylvia tapping it up. Finton will get on the end of it for the Canalman. Pass Keene. Here's Sullivan shooting it. It's a glove save for Pomborg.
Interesting decision there by Mason Sullivan. I probably would have gone with a pass-off pads method there, though. You want to keep the shots low from the point, look for rebounds, look for tips, but with the cannon that Sullivan has, you can't exactly get upset with him for trying to fire it one way or the other top shelf.
Yeah, he had that open lane on the right side. Shoot or shoot, right?
Indeed.
Mello had to go off of the stick of a defender, and D'Souza will send it down. Did not make contact with anybody. It's another icing.
Game's starting to slow down a bit now in the later portion of this period. I think it's going to come down to really which team is able to more effectively break out of the zone. Somerset Berkley has shown early on in this one that their breakout system is working well, and that's really the issue for Bourne right now, the breakouts and the break-ins. Getting across those blue lines has been tough for the Canalmen thus far.
That's Axon stepping up, put it on frame to Pomborg. Try to get it off of his skate again. Here's Mello taking the shot straight on. And another save for the sophomore netminder and Pomborg. Unofficially, he's at 9 saves. Rodriguez with 6. It's always tough to tell when you're at an arena like this one or Hetland because you're not in the middle. You're straight on looking down, so it's always tough to tell whether it goes on frame, counts as a save, or not.
Oh, you and I both understand that. Years of calling games here as that one goes up into the netting, but I still have some sort of soft spot in my heart for these types of state-built rinks here in Massachusetts, though the environment, especially when it's packed, can be the closest you can get to a professional atmosphere sometimes, in my opinion. Maybe that's hometown bias.
It's also, too, everybody's right beside the boards. There's not many rows. Bourne takes over as that pass attempt from McLean was blocked down. But there's not many rows that goes back. You're right along ice level, so you see the action, you can make all the noise. It makes a difference.
It definitely does. I've seen it happen on numerous occasions over the years. I could make a list of all the times the crowd has made an impact, and that's one of the great things about varsity high school sports is if you can get the community involved, it can really create a sense of almost intimidation when other teams come in to play you.
Bastis able to win the faceoff for the Raiders. They'll go to Aaron Preston on the side, past Crowell. Bastis trying to step in, and it's turned over. That's Hope playing it back. And sent down Rodriguez. Let it stick aside dangerously. Hope's going to take over with it. Couldn't get it by Gonzalez. Bastis on the backhand. Got it by Hope, and that one comes out of the zone. It will be an offside.
Yeah, Fenton was trying to pass it off there as if he was able to keep it in front of the line, but the men in black and white stripes caught it.
Barboza with a good step forward the other way. Here comes Evan Barboza, and he put it just wide. Good luck there from the senior. No cigar, though. Preston will reset. Gonzalez couldn't find Bastis. Bastis gets back to the puck, though. We're going to have a penalty coming up for tripping as Caleb Keane gets the touch to blow the whistle.
Yeah, Bastis, as fast as he is, one of the great qualities about him is his ability to draw penalties. He's really good at it, and that's mostly because of his speed. A lot of kids can't catch up to him, so they throw the stick out to try and get a poke check as a last-ditch effort, and most of the time it ends up with a penalty and an advantage for Bastis' squad.
And it is Fenton going to the box again. Second penalty he's taken tonight, so just got to keep it easy. It's still a 2-goal game. Anything can happen. Just got to be easy with the way that you're playing out there.
Yes, and the way that, Somerset Berkley has been playing so far, Bourne's going to need all hands on deck defensively the rest of the way if they want to stay in this one.
Bastis fakes it to Blankush, will take the shot. Save, rebound, what a save from Pomborg. That puck is still loose, ends up finding it. McKenna going to step the other way, will backhand it to Barboza.
3 straight saves by Plomberg there. McKenna had a couple of opportunities from about 4 feet away. The sophomore keeping him out. Impressive.
Barboza out to Sullivan with a minute to go. He takes the shot. It's blocked down and not cleared. Barboza had a chance at a doorstep tip. He was on the other side, and he's hauled down behind the play by Senna. He'll end up taking the shot, and Pomborg with yet another save.
Plomberg staying calm, cool, and collected thus far. It's really great to see, honestly, especially for Bourne, where you have this titan of the state at the Division III level in Somerset Berkley in your conference. To have a goalie you can rely on is huge.
Sullivan gets it over for a one-timer for Blankush. That one sticked away yet again. That one is whistled out of play. Pomborg, a second-year starter for the Canalmen, replaced the longtime goaltender Paul Case. Backup option is Sean Collins, who is a grade above Pomborg. He is a junior for the Bourne side, and I guess similar to what we saw for many years with Matt and Huck, if there's a game that Bourne says, hey, maybe it's a little bit easier competition, say maybe a greater New Bedford side, you can put Collins in, just make sure he gets some action.
Oh, of course, and that's really one of the important things about high school sports. You want to get everybody involved. Everybody needs to get an opportunity, and, you know, in this game, opportunities are hard to come by in any capacity.
Sullivan with 35 on the clock. Down low, Barboza holding, trying to spin away against Senna. He does. Barboza on the short angle, tried to get it to Mello. It wasn't there. Blankush with 25 to Adam Bastis. Bastis back out to Blankush. That was actually Mason Sullivan, I apologize. Sullivan stepping up as the forward, and it comes out of the zone.
Yeah, nice finishing poke check by Crowell. That's the type of play Bourne needed at the end of this period.
Adam Bastis with 3. The stick drag, he got in, never got it through. One last chance, and Pomborg with another save. He'll end the period unofficially with 15. 2-0 Somerset Berkley over Bourne is the score after 15 minutes on goals from Mason Sullivan and Nate Mello. JJ, it's the senior stepping up all the way around.
And that's probably going to be the theme for most of the year, Keegan. It's what we saw last year, and it honestly is the method if you want to compete at the Division III or any level in Massachusetts. You need to be able to develop players that by their senior year can be your top contributors, can be the anchors for your squad that guide your team through the season. And thus far, for players like Nate Mello and Mason Sullivan, they're showing their leadership ability and their immense skill, both at the same time.
A great way to open up conference play so far for Somerset Berkley. They're up 2 after 15 minutes. On our tape delay feeds, we will take a short break, and we will be back for the second period in just a couple of minutes. For our live stream, we'll keep it here. We'll switch it over to the internal mic. JJ and I will be back in about 9 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Hamlet with JJ Sylvia on commentary. Brian Mona's the man running our camera. JJ, they always say the 2-goal lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey. What has Bourne got to do to try to get any momentum going in this second period?
Well, Keegan, I mentioned it a bit in the first period. It's going to ring true again in the second. The breakouts and break-ins to the offensive zone have to be more fluid. They need to find a way to execute better, because right now the forecheck for Somerset Berkley is paying huge dividends and setting up offense for them the other way.
Still got about 17 seconds to go on that Luca Finton penalty that took place near the end of the first period, so it is the Raiders on the power play. Sullivan taking it, and it's in the vent, and that one never dropped down. It's out of play.
I actually learned this a couple of days ago, or sorry, not days, more like weeks, from one of the fathers, who I believe came from the DRC Conk side. They go up at the end of each season and clean all the pucks out of there, out of the roof, that get up there and get stuck. I didn't know that, because I was thinking they've probably been stuck up there for 30, 40, 50 years, but apparently it's a job they have to do.
Griffin Kelly's going to win the race to this puck. We're back to even strength, 5-on-5. Kelly having some trouble on the side. It's turned over. Sullivan will get it over to Gonzalez. Miscommunication with the change on the Canalman bench. Looks like they're all squirted out, ready to go, though. That's Rao sending it up. Rao, another multi-sport athlete, plays soccer for Bourne in the fall. Kept in by Senna, and the Raiders will reset with Gonzalez.
Raiders not doing so much in terms of taking advantage of the power plays they've had thus far, 2 of them already. That's going to be a big emphasis for them the rest of the way.
Here comes Axon stepping up, going to circle around behind the net, never got the pass away. Sent off the boards by Thomas, not out of the zone, and Cole Thomas will get back onto it, trying to find Landon Hope on the left side. It wasn't there. Mello will control it in the back. Off the side to Mason Sullivan, who's hauled down during the midst of the play. Keen to Hope, and Hope sends it down.
Bit of a slower start to this period for the Raiders. They were buzzing offensively at the start of period 1, and not the look you want right there for Somerset Berkley. They're about to go on the kill.
And that whistle, there were 3 players that collided. There were 2 Canalmen and 1 Raider, and it looks like Somerset Berkley will be on the negative end of that. Going to the box, it looks like is Logan Rose. Logan Rose, a senior on Somerset Berkley, only has 1 career goal. That was an own goal in his freshman year that went off of a skate against a Wareham Carver player. You got to feel bad for Logan Rose, though, because he's got a lot of talent. He's had a lot of injuries, had a season-ending injury. Just a tough break for him.
Yeah, and that happens a lot in such a physical sport that hockey is. But I'm happy to see that he's getting on the ice and getting the opportunities, because with how much talent this team has, I'm sure they can afford from time to time to make sure everyone gets involved in one way or another.
It is Bourne on the power play. That's Cole Thomas trying to hold it in. Ed Corral stepping up, off to the side. Keane a shot, and that one is whistled down with 1:27 to go on the power play for Bourne. Here's an interesting fact about Caleb Keane. So he has a brother Kellen who plays hockey and lacrosse for Upper Cape Tech High. The brother Kellen works at the campground that I stay at during the summer. He does maintenance work there over the summer.
I did maintenance work at Pierce Beach in Somerset for a few summers, and it's a tough job, so gotta respect it.
Pombor gonna stick it aside for Keane. Keane just waiting for everybody to get set, and he'll start up on the right side. A little bit too far past Cole Thomas. Wasn't too happy about that. D'Souza and Kroll trying to get back to that puck. Thomas, the reach of the stick, got it forward into the zone, and it does come out. Crowell couldn't keep it in. It's an offside.
I like the pickup and intensity from Bourne here on this power play. They're trying a lot better in terms of their breakouts, and that time around they just got unlucky in terms of where the puck lied.
Face-off just outside of the zone. Looks like Bastis and Hope in the circle. Bastis able to win it, and Sullivan sends it down. Still 3/4 of a minute to go on the power play that Rose is serving in the box for the Raiders. Center left side for Hope. Pass Barboza, sent down. Seitz didn't get a touch. Gonzalez in the back to Sullivan. He's hit hard into the boards by Finton.
Watch out for Barboza here.
Pomborg, good play to squirt it off the boards and out. That's Seitz stepping in behind the net. Gonna squirt free for Hope on the side. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Hope will take the shot. Blocked in front by Gonzalez. That puck's still loose, and it wasn't tapped in by Seitz right on the near side. Great chance. Might have been the best of the night.
And a great effort by Barboza at that back post. Rodriguez was having a tough time getting over, and Barboza making sure it didn't go any further.
Hope turns over. Preston across. Sorry to jump the gun. Preston had a chance, and Bastis on the second follow-up couldn't get it on frame. Mateo Senna not going to beat Barboza to the puck. Seitz will kick it out to Finton. Finton, the self-pass off the board, just going to backhand it in deep. Rodriguez will stay put, and Gonzalez will reset. They're going to try to catch Bourne in a line change. They only had 2 guys out there. Here's Barboza. The stick drag leads it. The shot scores! Adam Bastos makes it 3-0. And you can see it from up here, JJ. That was just a terrible line change by Coach Carpenito and the Canalman.
Yeah, and finishing it off right there was Bastos, putting it right where Mama keeps the cookies. What a shot by Bastos. I am just so thrilled, Keegan, with the talent and the grit that has been brought over through this merger with DRC Conk. Players like Bastos, Blankush, and I could name others. It is just such an excellent asset to have, especially after all the seniors Somerset lost.
That one turned over again. Here's McKenna, and it got blocked. Pomborg had to be alert. That right side was open.
Yeah, good job there by Griffin Kelly. Stepped up, got the shin guard in front of it. McKenna has shown a lot of improvement in terms of his shot so far this season, so that one could have been labeled top corner if it didn't get blocked.
That's Griffin Kelly on the side. D'Souza tried to come in to help. Brady Fitzpatrick for the Raiders ends up sliding down and taking down Ronan Kelly. Griffin Kelly not out. Blankush with the shot, saved by Pomborg. Axon got back to it, and D'Souza will take over. Not for long, though. Here's Fitzpatrick keeping it in. Might have gotten a touch off Axon. Pomborg with the save. 2 saves on the sequence. That puck's still loose. A 3rd save as Fitzpatrick took it. Get that puck cleared. Fitzpatrick, a shot was blocked down right in front.
Raiders are
Mello
buzzing.
holding it in. And it comes out.
A really great shift there for the Raiders. They are buzzing right now, and they might be able to get another goal on the board here.
Here comes Carter Sylvia, going to start up the chance right in front, tapped away by Ronan Kelly, the freshman defender. And that one sent down. Icing's going to be waved off. Just under 6 minutes into the second period. 3-0 Somerset Berkley. That one off the body of Evan Sylvia, and Lush trying to help get it out, and he did. Nate Mello on the reset, past the red line into the zone, and will come out. Lush got it by Keene. Thomas up, and restarted by the Raiders yet again. That's Senna behind the net. Sent out in front. Lush couldn't get on the end of it. It's the alternate captain, James Crow, going the other way in a race against Gonzalez. But Gonzalez, with the quick speed, able to win the race to it clearly. Well, JJ, as you mentioned, the pace has kind of slowed down a little bit. The physicality, it's been all there for both sides.
Yeah, and the physicality needs to be an emphasis. If you're going to make a deep run in the state tournament at any division, you need to be able to get physical and set the tone in that manner.
Cole Thomas with a good job right at that point to help get that puck out of the zone. Was battling in there for about 5 or so seconds. That's a Lush turned over. Hunter McLean going to play it off the side. Icing waved off as Crowell and Gonzalez let it go down. And Bastis never got to touch it. It will be on frame to Pomborg, and he's just going to have to cover it up. And a cheap shot on the side. Your cousin Carter Sylvia getting in the mix of that one, JJ.
Yeah, the emotions are riding high right now for both squads.
I don't think I've mentioned it on here this season, though, but Carter Sylvia has been filling in with you on the broadcast for some of the football and basketball games. He's doing one heck of a job. Like, I hope he continues it. He may not, but this year and maybe into next year, too, I hope he continues doing it.
Oh, yeah, and I'm super excited about it. Obviously, you know, I've had a decent little career as a broadcaster myself. It's nice to see him following that.
That one put just over the net by Adam Bastis on a dangerous rebound save from Pomborg, and Barboza ends up getting taken down. We're going to have an icing here against Bourne. Tell you what, though, Pomborg is making the saves, but some of these rebounds he's given up, they look dangerous.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be a focal point for him to work on throughout the rest of his career. He needs to work on rebound control. That's something that I'm not sure if it was mentioned too much last year, but I definitely saw it as a spectator with Brandon Silva. His rebound control was some of the best you'll see, and that's why the Raiders won a lot of those games.
Another turnover. Barboza tried to hold it, and then Griffin Kelly ended up knocking him off the puck. Here's Blankush stepping in. The shot is blocked down in front. Preston will get back to it. Tried to leave it at the point, and he does. Preston right back on it. Feeds it across. Here's Blankush shooting it, and it got directed off the glove of Pomborg and behind the net. Barboza, the backhand out. Here's Nate Mello holding it and shooting it wide. Pops in front. Pomborg was alert to stick it off to his left side. Barboza again blocked down by Finton, and it's just cleared down. Desperation clearances from the Canalman.
Yeah, Bourne right now is on their heels, and as we get into the later portion of this period, the Canalmen need to be really careful in terms of load management for their top lines, because this game is not out of reach for the visiting squad yet, Keegan. They need to make sure they keep up their pace with the Raiders. Anything can happen with how the lucky bounces can go either way.
Face-off won by Somerset Berkley again. Gonzalez just going to send it down. Fitzpatrick going to beat Finton to the puck. He'll send it behind the net again. Battle of the sixes with Keane and McKenna. That one, I thought the puck hit the netting. Referee says no. Crowell plays it behind, nearly turned over off the stick of Brett Axon. Brett Axon had a good season last year. 12 goals, 14 assists to his name.
Yeah, I'm a big Brett Axon fan so far. I love his celebration that he does after his goals. A little bit of a tip of the cap to Dighton Rehoboth Regional.
Tapped down by Axon behind the net. That celebration he does for the goals also mimics Evgeny Kuznetsov, too, when he was with Washington. 1-on-1 chance the other way for Cole Thomas. Has options. He'll feed it across, trying to find hope. It wasn't there. Started up by Somerset Berkley the other way. It's Mason Sullivan cutting it back, holding it. And he tried to get it over to Fitzpatrick. Played it high off the glass. Senna in a battle down low with McKenna. And it squirts free for Finton. Luca Finton up, not past Mason Sullivan. The rushes up the ice, just not coming right now for Bourne. Mason Sullivan, a good burst of steam into the zone on his right. Sullivan shoots it, saved by Pomborg.
One thing I would love to see more from Mason Sullivan is that in basketball they call it a drive and kick. Sullivan needs to learn that he's drawing 3 or 4 defenders every time he heads towards the net. He needs to be looking for those backdoor passes, those pushback passes. He's going to set up a lot of other players for goals because of so much attention that he demands from the defenders on the other squad.
That one walked out by Drew Kelly, and unable to get forward was James Kirby. Drew Kelly has another interesting story. You probably remember his older brother Ty was a longtime fixture of this Bourne hockey team, had 100 career points. Drew Kelly plays football in the fall, hockey of course in the winter. Both football and hockey took over number 9, which Ty wore for all those years.
And you gotta love that, keeping it in the family.
Ty Kelly doing good stuff now over at Framingham State University, plays on that football team over there as we have a whistle, so we do wish Ty the best. And I gotta tell you, Ty Kelly, whenever Somerset played Bourne twice a year, he was one of my favorite players to come watch and call.
Yeah, from my recollections, he was always a showstopper, and, you know, Bourne continuing to have players like that from the same last name.
That one sent out in front. Pomborg with a quick reaction save. As tapping it on frame was Gavin Kamara. That would have been his first goal.
Yeah, and I have a good story about Kamara after this one gets broken out.
Mello across the crease, and Evan Sylvia couldn't tap it on frame. The follow-up is saved by Pomborg. Crazy action going on right in front of the Bourne net. Here comes Seitz the other way, and Kamara gets hauled down. Evan Sylvia starts it up. A good dangle there offside as Mantiga had a step.
Yeah, and to talk a little bit about Kamara, I was actually out on the ice that formed when there was a little pond of water that froze over in front of the high school last winter, and I saw Kamara out there skating. I was talking to my cousin Carter Sylvia about it. I was like, Carter, who is this? And he says, oh, that's Gavin Kamara. He's in 8th grade, coming up as a freshman next year. He's got a lot of speed, great shot, too. I'm impressed with his performance on the 4th line thus far.
That one ends up out of play as it goes right through the netting. It's been a while since we've had multiple pucks go right through the netting right in front of us.
Well, my grandfather used to say back in the day, the puck always finds you, John. The puck always finds you. I guess it's still looking for me even when I'm not playing.
The 2019 Prenda Cup final, I don't know, some people might have heard it on the broadcast. There was a puck that came up here, and then I was able to snag it. I brought it here for the Prenda Cup final a few weeks ago. I still got it in the house. So it all, as you said, it finds your way some way, somehow, even if it's your first ever game.
Nah, indeed. It's always good to have those little knickknacks to remember the work you do as well.
Barboza going to leave it for Sullivan to chase it. Preston starting up on the left side. Bastis to Barboza, trying to get by Keane, and he nudged Barboza away. Would have been a close race to the puck. Barboza didn't have a clean angle on it. Here's Preston holding it across. They score! Evan Barboza, 4-0.
And that goal by Barboza is set up by the effort by Cam McKenna over on the board. He took a couple of shots, still kept the puck, and then a beautiful, gorgeous backdoor pass, and that's one of my favorite things about the game, Keegan. I love a good backdoor pass.
Evan Barboza, the team leader in goals for Somerset Berkley, now has his 5th, his 22nd career high school goal. And he's another guy. So he wasn't part of Somerset Berkley or DRS. He was at LaSalle Academy for the last 2 years. Played at Diamond his freshman year. But he's another one of those guys that just had so much hype around him coming into this season.
Oh, and I mean, I heard about it constantly. I'm going to keep referencing my cousin Carter, but there was so much buzz about him. Evan Barbosa coming back from private school to come play. It's just phenomenal how he's been playing so far. The speed, the feistiness, the physicality, his ability to pass, his ability to shoot. He is a complete hockey player, and it is a pleasure to watch him play.
Brady Fitzpatrick had a step as Axon was trying to enter the zone. It is another offside. Well, JJ, you played for the Somerset Berkley hockey program. When it's a 4-goal difference, I know it's a conference team. Bourne could do something to make difference of it. Was there any changes that Coach Snyder might have made to maybe, hey, slow down some of these star players and bring in some of the younger guys in to try to get the minutes?
It's hard to get into the mind of Kevin Snyder, Keegan, but what I would say is that this is a good opportunity for him and his coaching staff to see some of those fill-in guys. Maybe a guy gets hurt down the line, knock on wood. You need to know those 2 or 3 extra guys that you can slide in onto a line that can keep the line moving just the way it was before. And this is a type of game where you can evaluate some of those younger players to see if they can fill those roles down the road.
Mateo Senna turned over. Fitzpatrick in front. What a save by Pomborg. Oh, my goodness. In the splits to make that one.
Yeah, Pomborg with the nice push off there. He kind of takes a Hendrik Lundqvist kind of approach in between the pipes. Doesn't go too far, not too aggressive, more reserved.
Fitzpatrick looking for his first goal in a Raider uniform. Played it across. That one saved. The rebound still loose. Battle for it on the side. That is Hope trying to get it for the Canalman against McKenna. And he gets it away. A good pass over to Seitz and out of the zone.
I like the improvement in terms of creating a box defensively in front of the goal for Bourne. It's making it harder for Somerset Berkley to pick up some of those rebounds that the sophomore goaltender might dish out.
Hope will backhand it out. That one is going to be on frame to Rodriguez. A good play to get it away from traffic as Kirby was breaking forward for Bourne. I tell you what, Rodriguez, he may or may not be the next Brandon Silva, but he is one smart and athletic goaltender out there.
No, for sure. Rodriguez has had a couple of years to work under Brandon Silva, learn things from him. I was saying it during tryouts. He kind of looked like he changed his stance and his glove positioning a little bit to kind of resemble his mentor in Brandon Silva. And my, oh my, he's shown a lot of promise thus far this season.
Carter Sylvia gets it away to Brett Axon with 45 to go in the second. Pass attempt was blocked by Kirby. Keane not able to get it out. Sullivan stepping in, and Fenton will finally get it out of the zone, which Gonzalez will take it. Drew Kelly applying the pressure. Keane right back out of the zone yet again. Sent down with 20 to go. Lush to Mason Sullivan. He'll shoot it. Save. Rebound. Put over by Carter Sylvia.
Good opportunity for the cousin there. He just could not finish it. Put it over the goal.
Rodriguez not going to leave it for Mason Sullivan. He'll just hold it in the back. We're through 30 minutes. Somerset Berkley is cruising in the conference opener. 4 goals for their team tonight. And JJ, it's been electric so far in this game.
Yeah, and the name of the game for the Raiders in this one, Keegan, has been consistency. There has been a lot more cohesiveness. The team looks like they're working together a lot better. It's going to be tough when you start a co-op in the first year to get those kids to mesh, but once they do, it can create some beautiful art when you see how talented this bunch really is.
Bourne has got to find some momentum in any way they can to start the third period. We'll take a short break on our tape delay feeds. Our third period coverage will come up in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. All right, everyone, we're just about ready to start the third period here at Driscoll Arena on the conference opener for Somerset Berkley. 4-0 Raiders over the Bourne Canalman is the score, with all the goals coming from Mason Sullivan, Adam Bastis, Evan Barbosa, and Nate Mello. As we usually do on our Saturday live streams, we're going to bring in some alumni to join us on the mic. 2 best goalies in the area that battled it out for the prior 4 seasons. Brandon Silva for Somerset Berkley and Sam Bastis for DRS. Guys, how's it going?
We're doing good. We're glad all the boys are together now. We're starting with the first line. We love watching my brother. It's great. How you doing, Brandon?
It's my first game this year. I'm glad to be here, support the boys, and see how they're doing.
Third period underway. Once again, Somerset Berkley's in white and Bourne is in purple. Had a shove on the side from Adam Bastis behind. And Sam, you know that very well. Adam Bastis, one physical player.
Adam gets a little chippy out there. I love his game, though.
That's Mason Sullivan sending it in and sending it down, trying to get it out is Caleb Keane. Battle for it at the line. Evan Barboza going to step in. He'll feed it across, and there was an open net on the other side. Aaron Preston couldn't tap it forward. Now, I want to ask you guys, you two battled it out. Biggest rivalry in the conference for so many years. What were those games like, knowing that this was pretty much the most important game or games of the season?
Yeah, I mean, playing them, that was the best game. That was the game to watch, the game to be at. Sophomore, every single year of high school, biggest rivalry out there, you know. But now they got to come together and work as one, work as a team. What do you think about that, Brent?
Sophomore year was definitely the biggest packed crowd game I've ever played in. It was actually here. It was pretty close to sold out. And then junior year, beating their 29-game streak or whatever they had, that was awesome. Sending them home.
One of the greatest moments we ever had. I'm sorry about that, Sam. That one is going to be an icing against the Canalmen, and the face-off is going to be in the Bourne end. Well, both of you are goalies, so I think you two can attest to the fact. Let's go to Jackson Pomborg on the Bourne side. You two were easily the best two in the conference. Pomborg is the next guy for this conference. Him and probably either Tucker Roy or Mark Donati over at Apponequet. He's the face of this conference for the goaltending side for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, Tucker, the OR goal, is pretty solid. He's very good for his age. Yeah, the Bourne goal, I haven't seen him much, but he played in 8th grade when I was there. He was always pretty good.
Fitzpatrick turned it over. Hope took the shot. It was blocked down. Here is Cole Thomas with Nate Mello challenging him. He'll send it behind the net. Liam Blankush, one of the DRS guys that was called up to join this co-op, gets it away to Cam McKenna on the right side. He's got Patrick on his left. He'll take the shot. It was blocked off of the skate of Griffin Kelly.
Step up.
Tapped out, and Cole Thomas is in an offside position. Face-off going to come just out of the zone. Well, what's been going on with you two now? You guys are out of high school. Where's your lives at right now?
Yeah, I'm at Maritime. You know, he's playing for the Bandits.
I'm playing junior hockey. It's a huge difference from the step up from high school to junior hockey. Just how much older the kids are, the skill level to compete, everything's so much different.
I do know, Sam, at Mass Maritime, they got that 2-week training course for all the new merits in the summer, heat of the summer.
Yeah,
how is that?
No, the 2 weeks, probably toughest 2 weeks of my life. You know, the cadet program, we had to do the Viking bath, go in the water. You got basically hazed and slapped with shaving cream. But I wouldn't change for the world. The place is great.
Hey, you probably saw me because I camp at the campground. That's about a mile away as we have an offside at the line. I always see like all the new merits for their 2-week training program. I'm always on the field in that stupid pink shirt, throwing around the football, starting out targets. You probably didn't see me because if you looked away off to the side for a second, they're going to yell at you.
Looked away, you're like, what are you doing, cadet candidate? And then they would get all mad. But it was good. The 2 weeks, you wake up 5 a.m., you got PT. They're like basically, you do drill. It's basically like the military. They set it up like the military. You got to know your Youngie knowledge. Oh, it's good. Makes you disciplined.
Luca Finton going to beat Carter Sylvia to the puck. Couldn't connect with Keene. That's Lush trying to get it up, trying to find an open stick, and Evan Sylvia with the reach couldn't get to it. Might be a 2-on-1 the other way. If hustling on the side, Griffin Kelly can step up in time. And a cheap shot on the side with Keene nudging against Carter Sylvia. It squirts free, and Rodriguez just going to let it go. Well, Brandon, you were around Gavin Rodriguez last year. He didn't play in his freshman year, but he was on the team last year. What are you looking forward to seeing him doing this year and maybe next year?
Honestly, I'm just hoping for him to live up to his expectations. He didn't get a lot of playing time last year, but he deserves it, and hopefully he had a good 2 years.
That one turned over. Chance in front. Saved by Pomborg as Mantiga took the shot. Couldn't get it through.
How's that not?
Stick length away.
That's Mason Sullivan starting it up on the right side against Josiah D'Souza.
Oh, move it.
Kamara got in the mix. Kelly, one of the captains, along with D'Souza, will get it down low. That's Rao getting hammered by Logan Rose. Tie-ups on the side wherever you look. Gavin Kamara ends up hitting a man right into the boards, and Mateo Senna, the senior defender, one of 2 alternate captains with James Crowell. Brandon, I got to ask, how are the Bandits looking this year? You've been around the team. You guys having a good season so far?
Honestly, we're not doing too bad. We had a pretty tough stretch where I want to say we lost 6 of our 9 games in a stretch, but we're picking it back up. We just got a couple new additions for kids, and we're looking pretty good right now, pretty strong. We do have a tough schedule coming up for our next 5 games. We have 4 of the top 5 teams in the league, so
is Flanagan still on the team?
Flanagan's playing at Johnson and Wales.
Oh, good for him.
He's the backup at Johnson and Wales.
Rodriguez with the save and the splits, loose puck, and ends up getting it right between the skate blades. Market unofficially 12 saves for Gavin Rodriguez tonight. 2 backups to Rodriguez. There were Sam's backups last year, Nate Minosh and Brady DeRoche. Nate Minosh started the game at Plymouth North last week right before Christmas. 27 saves on 30 shots. A good performance from him. It's Landon Hope on the backhand, and Cole Thomas couldn't center it. That's Barboza tapping now. Might be a 2-on-1. He's got Preston on his left. Barboza shooting save by Pomborg. Adam Bastis couldn't catch up to it.
Or make it look like you're not going to shoot it. Yeah. You just shot it right into him.
That's Blankush stepping up. 2 Raiders falling down during that sequence. Here's Cole Thomas shooting it, block it away. And Bassis just going to loft it up. He hits the netting, and it's out of play. We'll welcome J.J. Sylvia back in. If you two want to stay, go for it, but he's the main analyst for this evening, so let's welcome him back in. J.J., I know the times you were calling for these 2 guys, you enjoyed every minute of it.
I mean, I'm a big Brandon Silva stan, and everybody knows that. It's good to see the alumni back. I'm always very happy to see that as an alumni myself, and you know, a great game for them to watch.
That one tapped out to the side, and that one hits the netting. It's out of play. Brandon Silva is the all-time wins leader for the Somerset Berkley hockey program. Sam Bastis, as I've said many times, like, Brandon was obviously better, but Sam was the only guy in the area who could keep up.
And it's hard to even keep up, as you were saying. You know, it's Brandon really stood alone in a league of his own, and you know, it's great to have Rodriguez, though, who can fill in those shoes, because not too many goalies coming up who are like him either.
That one squirts free for Somerset Berkley. Barboza will take it. Another save. Rebound on the side for Adam Bassis. De Silva trying to follow it up. Sends it into the middle, and nobody's there. Just under 9 minutes to go in this one. Bassis tried to make the open ice hit. Crowell holding it at the line, stick down by Sullivan. Sullivan turned over. Here comes D'Souza. D'Souza out in front, and Bourne was trying to make another defensive line change, it looks like. That's why nobody was at that blue line.
I do want to correct my mistake from earlier. The credit for that 4th goal is going to Aaron Preston. I'm going to hear it from him about it, but a great effort from Preston along the boards to keep the puck and then feed it backdoor.
Hey, Aaron Preston's a chill guy. You're not going to hear anything bad from him. You'll be all good.
Nah, I just pride myself as a broadcaster on getting it right, and that time I didn't. But as Carter would say, it's not about getting it right. It's about enjoying it and having a good time.
Next game's coming up for both sides. We got a good one here at Driscoll Arena on Monday. Somerset Berkley will take on Mansfield at 3:30. You're going to have the call for that one, JJ. And for Bourne, they're going to be back at home at the Gallo Arena against Voke Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So we got 2 really good games coming up next week.
Oh, indeed. And that little rivalry between Voke and Bourne always makes for some physical contests, much like the one we're seeing today in Somerset Berkley with the upcoming matchup against Mansfield, something that's new to the schedule over the last couple of years for the Raiders. But, you know, the trips up to Foxborough and then them coming down here makes for a good contest.
It's similar to Plymouth North. Mansfield's a D2 team. That'll bump up points in those power rankings if you're able to get a good result.
Oh, for sure. It'll help out down the road, which Somerset Berkley, the big idea this year when I was talking with Carter about this at the beginning of the season, it was just about finding a way to get to that 2 or 3 seed on the other side of the bracket so they can hold off seeing number 1 ranked at the beginning of the season, Nauset, for as long as possible. Nauset's going to be the big bad wolf at the end of the trail, but they need to figure out a way to make that trail to him a little bit easier.
Fitzpatrick's shot was blocked down by D'Souza. That's McKenna trying to catch up to it. Axon in the mix as well for the Raiders. Under 7.5 to go in this one. Somerset Berkley in firm command of this game. A little jawing going off on the side. Walked in by Bourne. A good spin to cut it back from Kelly. Griffin Kelly looking for a lane. That one hits the roof. Pops right in front. We'll have a face-off right over here.
7 minutes left. Kevin Snyder and his staff digging into the bench. Like I said earlier, trying to find those filler players that might be able to get some extra reps in necessary moments. Right now, the third line out here. So let's see if they can make something happen. They've been buzzing at points in this one, too.
Swung around the boards for Carter Sylvia, trying the self-pass up to himself. Got it into the zone. Onside, says the referee. Drew Kelly will go to his right. And to any of our Bourne fans watching on our live stream, I do have an exciting announcement. Announced the other day, I will be announcing the 2025 Canal Cup for your team against Sandwich on February 1st. And that's always a good showdown between those two.
Yeah, and I wonder if they'll let you go up in that little makeshift booth that they have at Gallo to call the game there. I'm not sure if they let anyone use that, but I always, growing up going to Gallo, I always thought that'd be a great place to call a game.
They used to call it the media corner. Now it's the alumni corner. I got to go to Gallo Arena last year when DRS was at Bourne. They actually closed that area off, and the area inside now is now a virtual golf driving range. So they're doing it well over there.
Hey, any way you can make money in this day and age is a good way to do it. And
good collision on the side.
A pretty good uptick in, the indoor virtual golf simulation things over the last few years. They have one in Newport now, too, and in Fall River.
That's Sylvia stepping up the other way. Carter Sylvia. Oh, he's clotheslined down by Mateo Senna. What a hit.
Yeah, that's a big one there. Sylvia getting back up really quick, but looks like he'll be replaced by Preston.
There's a whistle and a stoppage of play, and it looks like the faceoff's going to be in the Bourne end with 5.5 to go. Well, I got to ask, we were just talking about Gallo Arena. What was your favorite arena to play in, maybe for the aesthetics, for the atmosphere? What was your go-to arena that you wanted to play a road game at?
This is probably going to make some people mad, Keegan, but I was a sucker for the arena at Mount St. Charles Academy. The old chain-link fence that they had, instead of glass, they had chain-link fence. The locker rooms underneath the bleachers, it was something really incredible. Almost felt like you were playing at a professional arena.
I mean, I don't think there's any surprise of what my favorite road arena was. Had to be the Sports Village in Attleboro. They got 3 rinks there. They got a new hockey shop that just opened up there last year. It's a great place to go watch hockey, even if it's for youth club teams.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the new arena structures that are popping up, kind of starting to resemble Marlboro in a lot of ways. They have a huge, I believe it's 6.5 rink complex over there. So, definitely.
Sent out in front, and Bastos put it high off the glass. That's Blankush taking it at the line. It was stick down. This might be a breakaway chance the other way to get Bourne on the board. Here's Thomas. Now what a go. He's hammered into the net. The net is off its pegs. Let's see what we're going to have for a signal here.
A nice poise there from Rodriguez. He knew the guy was going to charge in nonetheless, and he just tried to steer the puck off to the side and let the contact come. Those are the types of things you need to do as a goalie sometimes. You know they're going to come crashing in. Got to be ready for it and get the puck out of harm's way.
Again, if you're watching on our live stream or tape delay feeds, we do thank you. Keegan Hamblett with JJ Sylvia on commentary, Brian Moniz on camera. If you like what you're hearing, make sure to subscribe to both of our YouTube channels, Keegan Hamblett Broadcasting, which we're doing this game on tonight, and John Sylvia announcing or broadcasting.
It is John Sylvia Broadcasting.
2 good channels. We both post a lot of content, full games, some highlights out there too. Good stuff to check out. That's Gonzalez sending it into the Bourne end, and it's going to fall right back to Mason Sullivan. Gonzalez over the middle, turned over, and Griffin Kelly controls it. Griffin Kelly has 2 points on the year, 1 goal, 1 assist. That's Brett Axon going the other way. Try to feed it to Fitzpatrick. McKenna stepping up to regather possession. McKenna going to circle around behind the net. In front, Fitzpatrick, saved by Palmborg. Puck still loose. Axon couldn't tap it in. And it eventually squirts free on that right side. And it comes out of the zone.
And I gotta love the effort from Palmborg. Despite the deficit, he's staying sharp and making every possible save for the Canalman.
Fitzpatrick once again still looking for his first point as a member of this Raider side. He's at a 1.5 point per game pace last year, as I think we're going to have a penalty coming up against Somerset Berkley.
Looks like a high stick call. Question is on who?
Also might have been played with the high stick. There's always that. Nope, they're going to say a penalty. It's Brady Fitzpatrick going to the box for the Raiders with 3:26 to go.
Chance for Bourne to play for pride here late in this one, getting a goal on the board against a Somerset Berkley team that looks like they have started to mesh together, a real night and day from the last time we saw them at this arena against Taunton.
Senna with a good snag to make sure it didn't go all the way down. That's Fenton on the left side, and Blankush going to win the race to the puck. I'll tell you what, JJ, if Bourne scores here, bear with me for a second, they might pull Jackson Palmborg because it all comes down to win margin. Hold on, here's Brett Axon, going to enter in shorthanded. It's off to the side, and Senna will hit him on the boards. But yeah, it all comes down to win margin. 3 is the highest it goes. So you got to have every goal that you can.
Oh, definitely that. It's a numbers game when it comes to qualifying and ranking in the state tournament. So every point, every goal counts.
McLean shot from the point, went high off the glass. Evan Sylvia able to get it out of the zone. There's Mateo Senna on the backhand across. 2.5 to go in the game. Just over a minute on the power play for Bourne. Sights down low to Fenton. Circle right back around. Sights controlling again. Mello reaching in there with the stick. Short angle try went wide from Fenton.
Just a bit outside.
Two minutes to go in this one in a 4-goal game. Here's James Crowell. He's got 3 goals on the air, looking to add a 4th. And Barboza controls it. We'll send it all the way down.
Nice crisp send there by Barbosa. And a great performance today by the Raiders. I'm going to keep saying it. They are starting to come together as a unit, and there's so much talent. So the cohesiveness, once that's there at 100% force, this squad could be unstoppable, Keegan.
Power play's over. We're back to even strength. That's Thomas leaving it. The shot is blocked in front. It looked like it was Connor Van Varenwyk on the block down. Here's Crowell. Holding it at the left point with Bastis applying the pressure. D'Souza over the middle. No connections. Van Varenwyk to Fitzpatrick and a haul down as Griffin Kelly took a stumble. Final minute to play. Barboza puts it on frame and it's blockered away. We'll have another face-off in the Bourne end. I got to ask you, JJ, I know a 4-0 win, you can't be ashamed for really anything, but are you seeing anything tonight that Somerset Berkley might have to improve on going into the Mansfield game on Monday?
I really think it's going to come down to the things I was mentioning earlier. I've been praising Bourne's improvements in the breakout. Somerset Berkley, their Achilles heel at points over the last few years has been the ability to execute the breakout, and that needs to be the emphasis going into a game against a team like Mansfield.
That one tipped wide from Axon as Sullivan took the shot. Might be another one-on-one chance the other way for Bourne. Kelly never got the shot away. Taken over by Mason Sullivan, out to the point. Try from the line. Doorstep tip save, and Kelly put it wide. Doug Lunaday, the sophomore, originally took that shot. Sullivan going the other way. He'll backhand it in, and if this holds, this is going to be Gavin Rodriguez's first career high school shutout. And you just got to hope there's no announcer jinx on that one. Axon left side. That shot is wide for McKenna. Might have gotten a piece of Pomborg. That one definitely did. Sullivan again. Took a deflection. That one loose battle. It doesn't matter. Somerset Berkley has taken this game 4-0. And some extra shoves after the fact.
Yeah, it looks like there might be a late penalty call on Sullivan. He got a little too physical, but nonetheless, a huge bounce-back performance from the last home game for the Raiders here. This is one they needed to springboard the rest of their season as we start conference play.
So Somerset Berkley goes to 3-1. They earn the win. And I know it's still early on, but that does put them in first place in the South Coast Conference. And it's going to be a lot tougher this year because there's only 5 teams now with Somerset Berkley and DRS merging. You got more of these co-ops. Really, Apponequet's a co-op. Bourne not a co-op, but Old Rochester Fairhaven. You got 2 other co-ops in the conference that could make way for a tough battle going down the rest of the stretch.
Oh, indeed. And for Somerset Berkley, it really is just going to come down to how much they want it. It's a lot of new players on this squad, much different look from what we had last year. What is the message going to be from the leaders? How are they going to push themselves in those dog days at the end of the season before the state tournament starts? And how will they recoup as that tournament begins? A lot of answers on the way as the season progresses.
There's a great showing from this Raiders side all the way around. Let's do a quick game recap before we sign off. Goals for Somerset Berkley: Mason Sullivan, Adam Bastis, Evan Barboza, and Nate Mello. Rodriguez unofficially a 17-save shutout, and Jackson Pomborg making 35 saves on 39 shots unofficially. That is going to do it for us on Somerset Access TV and on our broadcasting YouTube channels. JJ, as always, you did a phenomenal job. I can't wait to have you back on Monday, and you're taking charge for that one, too.
Gotta praise you too, Keegan. It's always a pleasure working with you. One of the dynamic duos we are.
Yes. Brian Moniz, good job on camera. Shout out to Brandon Silva and Sam Bastis for joining us in the third period. I'm Keegan Hamblett signing off, wishing you the best. Be good. We'll see you on Monday. Have a good night.